Oh, did everyone do their homework? Yes.
No.
Maureen? No.
No.
Vanessa?
Did I? Can't even remember. Got so much homework again. I'm not catching up.
We were doing equations. I gave you some word problems. Well, we'll do them. I'm sure you can do them. So we'll do them in session. All right. So
Okay.
let me share my screen and bring up. Okay. Can you see that? Solving linear equations continued?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, since you didn't do the homework, we'll do it together here. Maureen, read the number 3.
Okay. At a college bookstore, Carla purchased a math textbook and a novel that cost a total of $54, not including tax. If the price of the math textbook M is more than 3 times the price of the novel, and which system of linear equations could be used to determine the price of each book?
Okay, so now you weren't asked to find the price of each book. You were asked to set up the equations that you could use to calculate the cost of each book, the textbook or the novel. Now, in the problem you're given, these are the essential things that you're given to solve the problem. Textbook and a novel that costs a total of $54. Okay. So that means the textbook plus the novel cost a total of $54. Now, you were also given what? That the math textbook is $8 more than three
3 times
times the price of the
of
novel.
the novel.
That's it. So those are the 2 essential things you need to set up your equation. Now, they actually gave you the variables, right? They gave you the variables.
Mhm.
They said, okay, let M equal math textbook. Okay, make that bigger because I know you can't see it. Let's make that bigger enough so you can see it. Okay. Now, M is the variable for the math textbook. What did they use for the novel? What was the variable?
And
N, that's right. N was the novel. Okay. So let N equal to the novel. Does anyone see what are the equations you would use?
yeah.
What would it be, Maureen?
Okay. And the novel.
Because that's the math textbook cost. All right, that's the cost. And the N is the novel cost. Now, what did they give you about the cost of the math textbook and the novel?
$54.
So what adds up to $54, Maureen?
What
What
added to 54?
yeah, what equation can you give me to show what's equal to the $54?
Like 6 and 9? I'm sure.
No, they didn't give you any money. We using variables.
Oh,
Vanessa,
that was
what equation, you're on mute, Vanessa. What equation would show you what is equal to $54? What would you tell me?
When you do 3M, is it 3? 3M.
No. A math textbook and a novel costs a total of $54.
Mm.
We only have two kinds of books here. M is the math textbook cost. N is the novel cost. So using those variables, what would be my equation? Vanessa?
Would it be 8 plus?
No, you're only using the two things now. You're only using
Oh.
the math textbook
Okay.
and the novel.
So it's
cost.
M plus N equals 54.
That's it. Excellent. Okay. M plus N
N equals 54.
is equal to 54. Maureen, you follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of your equations because it said the cost of the math is M, the math textbook. The cost of the novel is N. The total is $54. So M, math textbook cost plus novel cost equal $54.
Oh,
So
uh-huh.
that's one of your linear equations. What's the second one, Maureen?
Okay.
You use this expression. M is $8 more than three times the
$3.
price of
Yeah,
the novel N. How do I write that as an equation? M is mean M equal. More than means add.
Add.
3 times means multiply.
Multiply.
So what would I write, Maureen?
I'm a bit confused there. I know what to do multiply add, but I really confused there.
Vanessa, can you help her out?
Okay. So you do M.
All right. M
Equal.
Follow along, Maureen. See, M
Uh-huh.
is equal. Vanessa said equal. What else, Vanessa?
Let me see. More than means plus, right?
Right.
So
$8 more than. That means you're going to add that $8 to 3 times the price of the novel. And 3 times means multiply. So what would I put?
So you put 8.
Okay.
Do you put up what times you put there? You have to put a sign there.
Yes, I do. What is it? $8 is added.
Yeah, but you have to, it's added more than.
So what would I put
So
here? What sign?
So therefore it's a plus sign.
Okay. 8 plus. And what's that's added to?
3.
3.
3 times. 3 times. So you put 3N.
That's it. Excellent. Very good. $8 more added to 3 times the price of the novel. 8 plus 3N. 3 times. 3N means 3 multiplied by N. All right. So that's what we had to do. Just write the equations. Now, later, remember what we wrote here. We'll come back to this because we're going to get to solving simultaneous equations. That is equations that share variables. And we'll come back and solve this and find out what did the math book cost? What did the textbook cost? But all we wanted to do here was show the system of linear equations that you could use to determine the cost. Any questions on number 3? And that's a thing about word problems. You translate the words into the math using the mathematical operations equal, plus, minus, division, or multiplication.
Yes.
All right. Now, let's go to number 4. Now, I gave you some hints on this one, right?
So that X be number of sandals.
Carl is making sandals at home and they cost $100 and he spends $10 on materials for each sandal. So that $100 is a fixed cost, right?
Yeah.
The $10 on each sandal is a variable cost depending upon the number of sandals that we are using X. He sells them for $30. Now we want to find how many sandals does he have to sell to break even. To break even, his cost must be equal to his expenses. All right. So now we know what cost is, and that's our old familiar what? Slope intercept, y equal mx plus b. That's the
Yeah.
cost, okay?
Mhm.
And the revenue is equal to 30 times x. So to break even, we set that cost equal to the revenue. All right, so let's just say we said cost equal to the revenue, right? So we have 10x plus 100, and that's equal to the revenue, which is 30x. Okay, now I'm using cost and revenue. I'm using well, that's the cost to make them. Revenue is what he makes. All right. So revenue is what he sells them for. All right. He sells them for $30 per sandal. So for every sandal, he makes what? $30.
Yes.
So setting the cost equal to the revenue, 10x plus 100 equal to 30x. Solve this for x. Tell me what you get for x. Give you a few minutes. Remember how we solved our linear
Yes.
equations, right?
This
Maureen,
is
you remember?
No.
alpha x
Well, you want to get
plus
like terms
100.
together. You want to get
Yeah.
all your variables together
Yeah.
and your constants together. So
So
that
you can
means
give him
you want this, get this x, 10x with the 30x. How do you do that, Maureen?
10x with the 30x.
How do you get the 10x on the side with the 30x? What do you have to do?
Must see. 10x plus 100. It's 30x. So you got to put the plus next to 30x, 10x.
How do I get the 10x on the side with the 30x?
By subtracting.
That's right, Maureen.
From
Very
both,
good.
from both sides.
That's it. You're going to subtract the 10x from both sides. Do that on the left. Do it on the right. That's how you keep your equation in balance. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. What do you have left on the left side, Maureen?
10x.
What's 10x? A plus 10x and a minus 10x give you what?
0.
That's it. Very good. So what do I have left on the left side?
0.
0 and what?
X.
No.
0,
10x
1.
and minus 10x is 0. So what's left? What's left over here?
100.
10x.
No, 10x and a minus 10x you said was 0, which is correct.
Yeah.
So what's remaining over here after you take the 0 out? What's remaining?
A 1.
Do you
100.
you see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
That's the left side. Now, if you said the 10x and minus 10x, you said that was 0, yes? What else do I have on the left side?
100.
That's right. So I have plus 100. And what do I have on the right side? Maureen, on the right side. Can you see here? What is that?
30x minus 10x.
Which is equal to what?
20.
20x.
X. Yeah.
20x. All right, because you're subtracting the coefficients. Now you have 20x equal to 100. Now let me just put the 20x on the left side. Really doesn't matter, but we're accustomed to doing our unknown on the left side. So that's equal to 100. What do I do next, Maureen? I'm solving for x, the number of sandals.
You divide by both 20 by
That's it. Divide both
divide
sides
4
by
times by
20.
20.
That's it. Okay. Divide both sides by 20. All right. So let's just do that. Let's just take this 20x equal 100. Divide both. Well, we can see our answer. What's the answer? What's the
5.
answer? 5. That's right. Very good. So we divide both sides by 20 and we get x equal to 5. That's right. So let's put our 20 here. And our 20 on the right side. Okay. And I'll just put it over here. X equal 5. So that means how many sandals he has to sell?
5 pairs.
5. He has to sell 5 sandals. How many sandals does he have to sell to break even? He has to sell 5. Then how many would he have to sell to make a profit? What's the minimum?
10.
No. If
That's
5
is
he breaks
even.
even, what's the minimum number he'd have to sell to make a profit? Vanessa, the minimum.
30.
No, if he breaks even with 5,
5. Yeah.
what's the minimum? The lowest number of sandals he could sell to make a profit. If 5 sandals, he breaks even.
6.
6. One more. That's right. 6. Because 5 he breaks even. 6
Yes.
he'd make a profit, right?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. And if he sold 4, he wouldn't make a profit, right?
No,
One
no.
less than 5, he would not make a profit because his expenses would exceed his revenue. All right. So this was one where we had to set our cost equal to our expenses, right? What he sold it for equal to what he had to pay to make the product. And that's a break-even amount. So a break-even number of items is 5. Now notice we get a lot of equations in this format. What do we call this? The slope intercept. You know, the y equal mx plus b, right? Where the b is the fixed and the variable is some unit that caused the amount to vary. Well, all right, let's go. Any questions on number 4?
No, much.
All right, let's go to number 5. All right, number 5. Vanessa, read number 5.
Number 5. Okay. Can you make it a bit larger, Miss Barbara?
Yes, I certainly can. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
The organizers of an essay competition decide that a winner in the competition gets a prize of $100 and a participant who does not win gets a prize of $25. The total prize money distributed is $3,000. Find the number of winners if the total number of participants is 63.
Okay,
Let X be the number of winners, then the number of participants do not win is 6 minus X.
no, 63.
63 minus X.
Mhm.
Given winner gets $100, loser gets $25. Total prize money distributed $3,000.
Okay, so I gave you some things there to work with. They told you the prize is 100.
Mhm.
If you do not win, you get 25. The total prize money, and that's for the winners and the non-winners, is $3,000. So what will be the equation you would set up for what was given? Now,
You
yeah.
put
Total amount, that is Y equal MX plus B, right?
No,
yeah, you got it. Well, you got but
this
yeah.
is not a Y equal MX plus B.
That's not it.
It's not that format.
Okay.
Okay, is that you have winners. Okay, winner amount plus non-winners amount is equal to a total of $3,000. Okay, now let's translate the winner amount to an expression to use what was given in the problem. Okay, that bigger. Okay, so what would be the winner amount?
$100.
$100 for how many people?
63 participants.
That's the total. How many winners are there? X. See,
X,
let
yes.
X be the number of winners.
Winners,
So
yes.
that means that you'd have what? The number of winners times the $100. So what would I write here, Vanessa?
So, well, if the number of winners, so you put X. No.
How much does the winner get?
$100.
So you'd put the $100 times the X.
Okay.
That's the amount the winner gets. $100. The total number of winners is X, right? So the total that they get is $100 per winner times the number of winners. So that would be 100X. What about the non-winners, Maureen? What would be the non-winners amount?
25. No.
Well, you're right. It would be
$25.
times what?
100.
No.
25 times 3,000.
No.
Okay.
X is the number of winners. The total number of participants is 63. So the number of participants that do not win is right here. It's what, Vanessa?
Number participants.
63 minus X.
That's it. That's if you have a total of 63 participants, X of which are winners, then if we subtract X from 63, we get the ones that do not win. So this $25 for the ones who did not win would be multiplied by 63 minus X. And what is this equal to, Maureen?
63 minus X.
No, this expression on the left is equal to what on the right? It's equal to the total prize money, which was what?
3,000.
3,000. It's right here. Winner amount plus non-winners amount is 3,000. So we put it as arithmetic equation, 100x plus the non-winners, the number, which is the prize, which is $25, times the number of non-winners, 63 minus X, equal 3,000. Now we want to solve this equation for X. So what do we have to do here?
Parentheses first.
Okay, so let me just copy this equation. Okay, so you're going to multiply the 25 times the 63 and the 25 times a minus X. Now the 25 times the 63, I'm going to have that figure. That's 1575. Okay. So let me just put that 25 times the 63 is 1575. Then we have 25 times a minus X would just be what? What would it be, Maureen? 25 times a minus X.
What you said?
25 times a minus X. We multiplying what's in the parentheses. 25 times the 63 was 1575. What's 25 times a minus X?
25.
What would it be?
Minus 25.
A minus 25X. You can't throw away the X. Yeah, 25 times a minus X is a minus 25X. Okay.
Yeah.
Now what do we have to do, Maureen? Combine the likes. On the left side, you see what? 100X minus 25X. What does that give you?
75X.
That's it. Very good. 75X. And we have plus 1575 equal 3,000. Okay. What's the next step, Maureen?
Okay. It divide both sides, right? I gone wrong.
There's something you got to do before that. Remember, you've got these constants you've got to get together. Yeah. So you subtract what?
75X from both sides?
No, not 75X. That's not a constant. The constant is, the constants are 1575 and
75 from 3,000.
yeah, subtract the 1575 from both sides, right? 1575 from both sides. All right. So let's just do that, and I'll put that on the next. Okay. So let's just take this, copy this. We're on the next page. Okay. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Okay. Okay, so you subtract the 1575 from both sides, okay?
Mm.
5. And what do you get on the left side, Maureen?
Get on the left side,
Yes, what's left over here? Once you
seven-
subtract,
75x, right?
that's it, because that's a 0. 1575 minus 175 is 0. So that'd be 75x. And what's 3000 minus 1575?
1425.
1425. Okay. 1425. Okay. What's the next step, Maureen?
You divide now, right?
That's it. Divide what?
Both sides by 75.
That's it. Very good. That's great. You learn to do the opposite. That's a multiplication. So you're going to do the opposite, which is division. So we take this. You got an answer? 75 into 1425 gives what?
19.
19. That is correct. Okay, so we divided by 75. And what does that 19 represent?
Yep. The total number of the participants. I don't know.
No, total number of participants was
The
was
person that get the prize money.
yes,
and
that's
get-
the total number of winners.
Uh,
That's right. You're right. X equal 19. That's number of winners. So the number of winners is 19. That's what we had to find. Find the number of winners. How many people did not win or how many non-winners were there, Maureen?
okay. How many?
There were 19 winners. How many non-winners were there? How many non-winners? How many, Vanessa?
19 from 63.
That's right. 63 minus 19, Maureen, gives you the number of non-winners. 63 minus 19 equal what? 44?
Huh?
That's the non-winners.
44.
Okay. How could you find if that 3,000 is correct?
You take the 9. You take the 19 and 10.
Mhm.
You take the 9. Take the 19.
We're checking that our 19 is correct. So what would we do, Vanessa?
You place the 19 at the X. Let me see something to 5. I'm right. Let me see.
Each winner got what? How much? What was the price for the winners?
$100.
Yes. So if you take the 19 times 100, you get what?
So
$1,900.
Yeah.
Right?
1900. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
And then
Now,
from the 44,
what would you do with the 44?
because the 44 with the 25.
That's right.
Then you get it. You get the amount, and then you add the 2 amount, and you get 3,000.
That's right. So you get 44 times 25, and that gives you 1,100.
Mhm.
And so 1,900 plus 1,100 equals to that 3,000. So we know that our figures are correct. Okay. So when you add up the winners and the non-winners, you get the 3,000. 1,900 for the winners, $1,100 for the non-winners, and they add up to the total prize money of $3,000. Any questions on number 5?
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's try number 6. All right. We have 2 persons starting a business tutoring business, right? Kim and Cindy.
Indeed. Uh-huh.
Their rental of the office is $400 per month, and they charge $40 per hour per student.
That's to the-
If they have 15 students each for 1 hour per week, how much profit do they make together in a month? Now we know that profit is equal to revenue minus expenses. So the expenses is what? How much is their expenses?
400 per month.
$400, right? So we know, let's just copy this and put in our expenses. Now we have to figure out our revenue. Let's put this, so we can put our expenses, that's $400 a month.
Mhm.
Now we know our expenses per month. Now, how do we figure out our revenue per month?
What I know is that
Okay, it's $40 per hour per student. So we know we
students, so you
have
multiply
the-
those.
right? And there's 15 students each.
Mhm.
For
Each.
1 hour per week. All right, that we know. And we're given 4 weeks in a month.
Mhm.
You do 4 weeks in a month. That's supposed to be kind of mental math. Why
Yeah,
say
well, yeah, it's mental math. So what would it
mental
be?
math? What you do for me? I sometimes I go short way. You know,
Okay, so what
We have
would be
15
the revenue?
students
What would
each.
be the revenue?
if they're giving me per hour per week, if they so are they talking about 7 days or 5 days? 7 days?
No, we're talking weeks here, because remember they say for each 1 hour per week. So we're working with weeks, not days.
No, I know, but per weeks, right?
Yeah,
But
4
then-
weeks. We don't need
So you-
days.
We don't need days.
No, because they have 15 students each for 1 hour per week. So we're
Oh,
working
one.
in,
Oh,
see,
good. So 1 hour per week. That's 4 hours. 4 hours multiplied by 15.
4 hours.
Multiplied by
What's the 4? The 4 is the 4 weeks, right?
yes, it's the 4 weeks.
So you got 4. That's the number of weeks. What is that multiplied by, Vanessa?
15 students. Am I right?
Well, one thing you got to watch here. 15 students each. And how many people? Kim and Cindy. They're 2 people.
Maybe
So-
4 multiplied by 40? Probably no.
Yeah, you'd have 40, but we're trying to work out the number of students. Vanessa said
Oh.
15, but remember it says 15 students each.
Yeah.
So you have 2 persons tutoring. So how many would that be for the two of them?
17.
How many?
At 17 students.
No.
17 in all.
No, 15 students each. Kim has
15 divided by
15
2.
cent. No.
Oh,
Kim has 15 students. Cindy has 15 students. How many students is that?
so
Oh,
that's
30.
30.
30,
It's the
right?
30
And then
multiplied
it's by what?
by 4,
By no, how much per student? You've got the weeks in.
by 40.
By 40. That's,
So that's
the revenue.
$1,200.
Times 4. Times 4
Times 4.
weeks per month.
Oh yes. Times 4. So
Like
that's 4,800.
4,800. Right. That's the revenue. So what's the profit?
All you have to do the 4,800. How much you had for the office is just a month they're renting it for.
Right.
Minus.
So that would be what? 4,800 for the revenue.
The revenue is 4,400.
That's it. The profit, you mean?
Yeah, the profit.
The profit would be
They would
equal
make
to 4,400. Right. This would be 4,400. That's nice profit, right?
Uh-huh. Really good.
Yes, that's nice profit. $4,400 per month. That would be the profit, because you have to figure up all their revenue. Expenses were pretty clear cut. It's only the $400 rental, but the revenue you get for your students, and they are paying $40 an hour. So Kim and Cindy each have 15 students. So that's a total of 30. And for 4 weeks, and we're doing this a month, because remember your expenses is per month. So we want to do our revenue per month. So the profit is revenue minus expense, $4,400.
Mm-hmm.
Common error students make here is that they take one person, and it says 15 students each. That's the key right there. So it's not Kim has 15 and that's it. It's Kim has 15 and Cindy has 15 for a total of 30. All right. Any questions on number 6? All right, let's go to number 7. And this one, I want you to solve, because that's one of your y equal mx plus b. Okay. Let me make this bigger so.
the taxi cab.
A taxi charges a flat rate of $40. Additional cost of, let's see.
Right. Hold on. Is a fact.
Okay.
Some additional.
If you have a flat rate and you have a variable cost,
Right.
cost per unit. All right, so this is a y equal mx plus b. You just need to plug in the values. All right, so let's just put that. That's a slope intercept format. Y equal mx plus b. Now remember, y is the output, x is the input.
Input.
So what are you looking for in this problem?
Flat. You're looking for the slope?
Yes, you're looking for the slope. Well, Actually,
The
you're not
miles.
looking for the slope. The slope is the 0.55. You're looking for the
Yes,
miles. The miles is your X
which
value.
come on this, yes.
Yeah, so you looking for the X value. So substitute, the output is what? What is the output?
Um, 15.
That's
15.
it. That's it. You've got your output. You got $15 to spend, and you're traveling at you paying 55 cents per mile, and you have a flat rate, that's your y-intercept here, of $4. So plug in the numbers, and this is the way it will look. 15 equal, and you got
55x, 55x
that's right,
plus
55x
4.
plus 4. Solve that equation for X. Give you a few minutes. Solve that equation for X. Get your constants together. And then solve for X. These are your constants, 4 and 15. So you're solving for the number of miles Sandra can travel with the $15.
Divided $15 by.
That's $15.
Or the charge. Oh, so she only had 5. Okay. Okay. Mm.
What did you do first, Maureen?
I don't even know yet.
Why not?
I would say I was gonna take maybe 4 from the $15, right?
Well, yeah, you're gonna subtract 4 from both
Yeah,
sides. That's right.
yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
Do that. You're doing the right thing. Do that. Okay. Subtract the 4 from both sides. Let me subtract 4 from both sides.
4 from 15 is 11.
That's right. So over here you'd have -4, and over here -4.
Fine.
4 from 15.
Okay,
Mhm.
so what do you get on the left side, Maureen?
11.
11. And what do you get on the right side?
0.
And what else?
Right. 0.55.
Okay,
Mhm.
0.55x. Right?
Oh,
So now how would you solve that for X? What would you do, Maureen?
you was yeah, first we subtract. We divide
Yes, what do you divide by?
11 on both sides, right? I
Well,
presume.
but if you divide by 11, you're gonna get 1 on the left side.
Yeah.
You want to solve for X. X is connected to what, Maureen?
Or the 55
Right, so you want to divide
by 55.
the 0.55, divide both
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
Look at your unknown, that's your X, right? Divide both sides by 0.55. All right, let's do that. You could get rid of your decimal and make it 1100 over 55. Same thing, right? Easier to work with. Okay, so you divide both sides by 0.55.
Yeah.
And what do you get? What's your answer?
I get 0.5.
What?
Probably I know. I say 11 into 55 is 5, right?
0.55.
Yeah. Divide by 11.
Okay, what'd you get for X?
5.
Point.
I get 0.
And
I get 5. Point. I get point 0.5.
0.5.
Yeah.
11 over 0.55. That's the same as, okay, let me put it. Same as 11. That's the same as 1100 divided by 55. Which you could just shift the decimal points. It's the same ratio, right?
Mhm.
So
So
1100 over
11
50,
over.
1100 over 55. What did you get, Maureen?
11 divided by what?
55. Get 20.
You get 20, Maureen, right?
11.
1100 over 55 gives you 20. That Vanessa said it's 20. What did you get, Maureen?
20.
Did you get 20?
Yeah, 11 into 55, yeah.
Oh, okay. So X equal 20. So that means she can travel what, 20 miles. So 20 is miles
Mm.
traveled. Okay. Questions?
No.
So for $15 at 55 cents per mile and a flat rate of $4, Sandra can travel 20 miles. Okay.
Mhm.
Questions? Now that was one where you were given the output and you were to find the input. Most of the time we were looking for what? The input. The Y here is the output. That's the dependent variable. It's dependent upon the input X, which is the independent variable. All right. Any questions on number 7?
No.
All right, let's go to number 8. Now, this is one of our simultaneous equations. So we're going to look at some of those later. That's 2 equations that share variables. So you really have 2 equations that share the same set of variables. And there are certain ways we can solve them. And one of them is we can do elimination and we can do substitution. Now, first, let's set up these equations. We've got James bought 5 apples, 10 oranges for $4. Donna bought 3 apples and 9 oranges for $3. I mean, well, James bought 5 apples and 10 oranges for $4. Donald bought 3 apples and 9 oranges for $3. There are no discounts. We are to find what's the cost of an apple and also the cost of an orange. So we first want to set up our equation. So I'll give you some variables. Let A equal apples and let R, I'm using R because I don't want to use an O because sometimes it looks like a 0. Let R equal oranges. Now, knowing that, give me the 2 equations that I would set up. Vanessa?
She's not there.
Oh, she's on mute.
Hmm.
Okay. Maureen,
Oh,
what would be the 2 equations I would set up?
okay. Then.
I
Okay,
want to set up this one, 5 apples, 10 oranges for $4.
Uh-huh.
And I want to set up this one, 3 apples and 9 oranges for $3. And the first one is 5 apples and 10 oranges for $4.
Yeah.
So let's set up the equations. What would they look like, Maureen? The first one.
5, how it look like?
Yeah.
Okay.
James, give me James' equation.
James is 5 apples, 10 oranges.
So if A is apples, what would I write?
If it's apples, we will, the amount of apples,
So what would that be?
5.
Okay, so it'd be 5A, and that means we're adding. So how many oranges?
9.
How many? James, we're talking
10.
James.
10.
10. So we used R for oranges, so that would be 10R. And what is that equal to, Maureen? What did that cost?
$4.
$4, right? So we got our first equation for James. Now, what would Donald's equation look like?
3A
Okay, 3A plus
plus 9R.
and R. What's that equal to?
9 and 3 is 12.
No.
Oh,
What did it
$3.
cost? Equal 3.
$3.
Equal 3.
$3.
Okay, so now we've got our 2, what we call them, simultaneous equations. All right. We call these simultaneous equations. And they share variables. Notice you have A in the first equation, A in the second one. You have R in this first equation and R in the second one. Now, we said we could solve these simultaneous equations using substitution or elimination. Now, elimination, you try to make the coefficients the same. That way you can subtract something, right? So how would I make these, how would I make, say, the A coefficient the same in both of these equations? What would I do?
What is the cost on apple? What is the cost on orange?
Right, and we set up the equations, Vanessa. We have them here. 5 apples, 10 oranges, cost $4. 3 apples, 9 oranges, $3. Now, we can, as I said, we can use elimination or substitution. Elimination is where you can get your equation such that you can subtract one from the other. And sometimes they have the same, say, coefficient and variable. You can just subtract them, but these don't. So you can multiply the equations by numbers such that one of the variables coefficient would be equal. Okay. One of the variables will be equal. So this is a 5 and this is a 3. Now, what can I multiply this equation by and this equation by such that my coefficient for my A is the same? What would I multiply by? Think of 5 and 3. 5 goes into what number and 3 goes in the same number? What is that number?
15.
15. So that means if I can make this 5A 15A and make this 3A 15A, then I can subtract the equations, right? So that means you can take this equation and multiply the whole equation by 3. So I'll put a 3 in front of this. That means you're multiplying the entire equation by 3. And for this one, we multiply by what?
5.
5, that's right. Multiply that equation by 5, okay?
And do distributive property.
Right. Now, this one would be equal to what?
Which one?
The top one.
Okay. If 3 is 15A
That'll be 15A,
plus
okay, plus
E times 30R
30R,
equal to
okay,
3
equal
4 is 12.
12. All right. Now, Maureen, what would the second one be equal to? Multiplying that by 5. What would that be equal to?
5 3s is 15.
So that'll be 15 what?
A.
A. And what would be the next one?
Okay. 5 by let's see.
5 times 9R is what?
Oh yeah, 45.
45R. And 5 times 3 is what?
15.
15. Okay. Now you notice I've got a 15A and a 15A, so I can subtract them. So let me take the bigger equation and subtract the smaller one from it. So let's just take this equation. I mean, the coefficients are bigger. And we want to subtract this equation from it. Okay, so let's take this equation.
You put it to the bottom.
Yeah, and this is subtraction.
Okay. So you eliminate 15A.
That's right. So this is a subtraction, right? Okay, so we are subtracting.
Right.
This is a subtraction. So we're subtracting this equation from this equation. So this is a minus in front of this. So a minus plus will give you 0. So 30 from 45R, 30R from 45R gives you what?
75.
30 from 45.
75.
No, you're subtracting.
Oh, you subtracting 30 from what?
45.
15.
15R. 45 minus 30. What's 15 minus 12?
3.
3. All right. Now, R would be what? How about I solve for R?
25.
No, you're dividing by 15.
You divided by 15.
15R equals 3, right? So if you divide by 15, R is going to be 3 over 15, right?
15.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be the answer.
Equals 3. Well, that's not all your answer because you got to find both fruit costs. So that's 3 over 15. 3 over 15 is what? as a decimal? What is 3/15 as a decimal?
15.
5.
It's it's
Half. Or 1/5.
3/15 is 1/5. And what is that as
Yeah.
a decimal, Maureen?
Oh,
15.
okay.
2/10. So orange cost actually 20 cents. 0.20 of a dollar is 20. So the orange cost is 20 cents, right? How would I find the apple cost? I know the R, so you could really substitute in any of these equations for the orange and get the apple cost. So let's take the 5A. Let's take this one. 5A plus 10R equals 4. Substitute in for R that 0.20
Mhm.
and solve for the apple. Tell me what you get for the apple cost.
Okay. 5. That's
Substitute point 0.20 for R and solve for A. Okay, so put the 0.20 for the R and solve for A. Tell me what you get for the apple cost. Maureen, you following?
yeah.
So that means this equation right here, I'll put what I put in words. Okay. So for the R, you're going to put the 0.20, right? 0.20. And you only have one unknown here, and that's the A, right?
Mhm.
So Maureen, what's 0.20 times 10?
Right. Okay. 5.
0.20 times 10 gives you what? What's 10 times 0.2?
5. 20.
Mhm.
20 is 20.
No,
$2.
$2. Remember, Maureen, this
Oh.
is tenths. This is not 2.
10.
Oh,
That's
It's
decimal.
tenth. So that's going to be 2.
I see.
All right. Now, what do you do next, Maureen? You're solving for A. What's the next step? Get your constants together, the 4 and the 2. 2 from both sides.
Oh,
All right, so that's going to give you, put this here.
that's right.
And if I do that, I just get 5A equal 2, right? 4 minus 2 is 2, so that would be 2. Then what is A equal to, Maureen? What would I do next?
Okay.
What would I do? What do I do next to get A?
Subtract 2 from both sides and then
5A equals 2. How do I solve for A? What would I do to this equation to get A?
Concentration.
5 multiplied by A is 2. What's the opposite of multiplication?
Division.
Division. So A is going to be 2 divided by 5, right? And what's that equal to? Right? So
2
that
divided by
means
5 is 2.5. No, not 2.5.
2 divided by 5?
Divided by, okay, it's gonna get 0
1/5 is 0.20, so 2/5 is going to be 0.40.
0.4, yeah, 0.2. Right.
So the apple costs 40
40%.
cents. Okay, so that's the cost. Say, what is the cost of an apple? What's the cost of an orange? The orange costs 20 cents. The apple costs 40 cents. This is a simultaneous equation, and we solved it. And we said we could solve it by substitution. Okay. Let's see, we have some, okay. Substitution and elimination. I don't know which, well, sometimes the substitution, well, this was the elimination. Sometimes substitution might be easier. Substitution means you take one equation and solve for the other one and then substitute it in the second one. That's not always the easiest, because here you've got multiplication and division. I tend to go for elimination, but it depends on the equation. Sometimes the elimination is easier because each equation might contain the same coefficient variable. So it's just a matter of just subtracting without having to even multiply the equation. So you have to look at each one to determine which one is better. Sometimes you can, well, sometimes you can use substitution in some of the simpler equations and just, solve for the answer. So it varies. We use it, we doing both so you can see how they work. In fact, we'll may get a chance to do an example where you're doing both. But simultaneous equations, characteristics, each equation contains the same variables. And this equation had both apples, A, and oranges, R. Okay. Any questions on that problem? All right, let's go to number 9. Now this one, you will set up the equations. You're not going to solve it. You're going to set up the equations. Let me make it bigger. And this is going to refresh your memory on perimeter. You know what perimeter means, right? Let's see. Make that bigger. Okay, so we want to find the equations. It can be used to find the dimensions of a rectangle if the perimeter is, let's see, 86. Let's see. The perimeter is 86 centimeters. So you've got two things going on here. You got the length of a rectangle is equal to triple the width. Now that's got to be converted into a mathematical expression. Okay. Well, actually be the equation. And then you have to know the formula for perimeter. Now, length is, that's length equal triple. That means you multiplying, triple means 3. So you
Mhm.
multiplying 3 times the width. So Maureen, how would I write length of a rectangle is equal to triple the width? Now, let me just give you some variables here. Let L equal length and let W equal width. Okay, so I gave you the variables, and I want you to take that equation. I want you to take the expression in the problem and translate length of a rectangle equal to triple the width. How would I write that using the L and the W?
It's like one width, one length, L, L,
What would I write?
L plus L X W, L length and width, right?
Okay, yeah, I want you to translate length of a rectangle is, that's equal, is equal, they tell you here, is equal to triple the width. L is the length, W is the width.
Width.
Triple means you
3
multiplying the width
times
by
width by the
3.
length by
So
3. Oh,
how would I write that using L and W?
you're right. 3 L, right?
No, it's a length is equal.
F is equal, yeah.
So what would I write?
So you put 2L.
No, length is equal.
Length, okay. Length is length.
So what would I write?
The length of the rectangle is equal
To
to
triple the width.
Well, the width is
It's 3 L multiplied by W. No. Okay.
No, length is equal to triple the width. So the length is equal to 3 times the width. How do I write that, Vanessa?
3 times the width.
The length L is equal to 3 times the width.
Or L is equal 3 X width.
L equal what?
For the width you put
L equals
it, then you put in parentheses.
What is
L
it?
equals to 3
3
W.
W. That's it. Let's put the little L here to be consistent. Yeah, it says the length is 3 times the width. So we said the length was L. And 3 times the width would be 3 times W that we said was the width. So that would be length equals 3W. That's it. Length equal 3 times 3 multiplied by the width. So that's one of the equations.
Oh.
Right? That's the one. Length is equal to 3 times the width. Now, how would I write the perimeter is 86? What equation would be that? 86 equal to the perimeter. This is a rectangle. What's the perimeter of a rectangle formula, Vanessa?
No. Triangle is 3, rectangle is okay.
Width and 2 length.
What is it?
2 width, 2 length, 2 width.
2 length plus 2 width. So perimeter equals 2 times the length
2 times
plus 2 times the width. Yeah, that's the equation for perimeter. But here they gave us what? Perimeter is 86. All right, so we put then 86 equal, but the,
2L
okay, 2L
plus 2W.
plus 2W.
Okay.
Okay, now we could take this a step further. I mean, that pretty much answers the question, but we could take that a step further, and since L is 3W, we could put 2 times 3W, right? Okay, let's just take this, copy it. And for L, we want to substitute what we said. L is 3W.
So you said three,
Yeah, because
2 trees is 6W.
right. Well, if you had to solve this, let's just say if you had to solve this now, these are the equations, because it'll ask you what system of equations, which would really be the L equal 3W and 86 is 2L plus 2W. But now if we substitute for L 3W, and we've got 3W and 2 times that, how would you calculate W?
I calculate W. Tell me we calculated this. 236 is 236. 2 times 3 is 6W.
Yes, and that would be what?
Plus
2W,
plus 2W.
and that would be what?
Yeah,
Okay, because it's
8W.
W and W, they have same.
Yeah.
Fine.
2 times 3 is 6W plus 2W is 8W. Then what would W be equal to?
Or to be equal to,
So we have 86 equal 8W. What is W equal to? Maureen, what is W? How would you solve for W?
oh, you're solving for W.
Yes.
Okay, so you do is 8W on both sides.
Not 8W, 8. Divide both sides
8.
by 8. Okay, so W then would be what? W would be equal to 86 divided by 8. And what is that equal to?
86 divided by 8.
You get 10.75. 10.75. Okay.
Yes.
So if that's the width, what's the length?
What I said we should do with the length. What I tell you the length. Length
If that's the width, what is the length?
therefore the length of a rectangle is equal to triple the width. It's equal.
Yeah, you divide.
Because if the width is that,
8 divided by 60 is 10.5.
Well, we said the length is 3 times the width, so multiply that by 3.
Multiply 10 times 5 by 3.
Yeah, because we said the length was 3 times the width. So multiply the length is 3 times the width, right? So length equal 3W and multiply 3
They get to 32.21.
times 10.75. And that's equal to what? 32.25.
Yeah.
Now, if you take the width and multiply it by 2 and the length and multiply by 2, check and see if you get 86. Because we said perimeter was 2 lengths times 2 width. So check it, see if you get 86.
Ms. Barbara, just give me a few. I'm stepping away from the computer.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Maureen, multiply 2 times 10.75 plus 2 times 32.25.
By what, 3?
Hmm?
By 2?
Yeah, by 2.
Okay.
And see if you get 86. Multiply 2 times width, 10.75, 2 times the width by the length, 32.25, and you should get back 86. In other words, you're doing this 2 length plus 2 width. And if we are correct, you should get 86. Did you get 86?
Okay, hold on.
Okay, so we said the length, so this is what I'm saying to do. 32,
Yes, yes,
you get 86, right? So
yeah.
you know that's correct. Okay, plus 2 times 10.75. And that gives you, when you multiply and add, you should get 86. So we know that's correct. But we only had to put the equation. So really what we had to put was this equation. That was what we had. That would answer the question right there. We just went further. Okay, we just went further and found the length, the width, and verified that the length and width substitute in would give you back what they gave us as the parameter, which was 86. Okay, let's go to number 10. I really want you to solve. Let's see. Let me bring this down and make it bigger. Okay, Maureen. That's a multiple choice. I want you to read it and then tell me what your answer is.
I had do that one, but I get B for my answer.
You got one?
The letter B.
Now this is
So it's $96 plus of 0.12.
well, this is a slope intercept problem, right? So your fixed cost is what, Maureen? What's the fixed cost?
It's $96.
That's your fixed cost, right? And your variable is the 12 cents per mile. So your rate of change, which is what your slope is 0.12. So this is a slope intercept formula. So if you do this as a slope intercept, let me just bring this down and put in the slope intercept. Okay, now let's just put y equal mx plus b.
B.
Now, if you put it in that format, Maureen, put it in that format,
Yeah.
what's your answer?
C. And
What is your slope? Slope
slope is
is what? What value up here is your slope? If it has a flat rate of 96, 12 cents a mile, the input is
or
X, the output is Y. What is the slope?
0.12.
That's it. It's 0.12. So that means that 0.12 has to be a coefficient of your X, and your flat rate, which is your y-intercept in the slope intercept formula, that has to be your 96. So what is your answer?
A.
The coefficient.
C.
Wait, Maureen. What is your slope?
0.12.
So that slope is the coefficient of the X.
Yeah. So it's A.
No, Maureen. The coefficient of the X is the slope. And you just told me the slope was 0.12. Coefficient means the number in front of the X.
So it's
So
C. It gotta
no,
be C.
what is the slope?
0.12.
So that's your M. That has
Yeah.
to be the number in front of the X.
Uh-huh.
So which answer is it then? The number in front of the X has to be a 0.12, which means you can eliminate the ones that don't have that. You can eliminate A and you can eliminate C. So which one is it?
Eliminate
B.
eliminate A.
Yeah, you could eliminate A and you could
A.
eliminate
C.
C
C.
because the slope has to be in
C.
front of the X. So which one is it, Vanessa? You
And then you
eliminated A and
eliminate
C. So you're only
the
between
root.
B and D. Because your slope is the 0.12, and that has to be the coefficient of the X.
So it's D.
What did you say, Maureen?
D.
It's B. It can only be B.
Right. I told you B.
Only B.
Yeah, but you were
I told
saying,
you B.
when did you say B? You were saying A and D?
Yeah. Then I said B. But
Oh,
after you
okay.
said B, yeah.
Okay. Answer B. See, it's in the format y equal mx plus b, where m is the slope. M is the rate of change, 0.12. 0.12 amount per mile. Okay. And then the 96 is the constant, or the y-intercept. So it can only be B. Okay. Remember, you'll have several equations will be in that format. Just remember, your slope is your rate of change, and it's the coefficient of your X. That's the number in front of the X. Questions? Okay, we're going to look at some simultaneous equations, and we're going to solve some, and then I think homework, I'll probably give you 1 or 2 for homework. Okay, and as I said before, we looked at it before, simultaneous equations that share variables. 2 equations, we'll only be working with 2. You can get as many as 3 or 4, but that's a little more complicated that we need to do. We'll only work with 2 pairs of equations. So let's try this one. We want to use our elimination method. Now, this one, remember I said sometimes you have the same expression in both equations, and you can just do an add of the equations. Like here you have a plus 5b, you have a minus 5b, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so you can add the equations to eliminate the 5b.
Mhm.
Okay, 4a plus 5b is 12, 3a minus 5b is 9. So you have equation 1, equation 2. But the coefficient of the b, variable b, is equal. Same thing, 5, 5. So you can add the equations to eliminate the b, and then you'll have just the one unknown. Okay, so when we add those equations, we get 4a plus 3a, 7a. This is eliminated. 12 and 9 is 21. So 7a is 21. Solve for a, 21 over 7. Right-hand side of the equation, that's the RHS of the equation, you get a equals 3. Now we can take that a is 3, substitute it back in this equation, and 4 times 3 is 12, and we have 5b. Okay, so we solve for a, now we can solve for b, and we get the b is 0. All right,
Mhm.
so that's the solution for that one using the elimination method. A is 3 and B is 0. So now one like that where you start off with the variables with two having the same coefficients and variable, you could just add the equations, because 5b plus and a 5b minus gives you 0. But like the one we did before, they weren't equal, so that's why we had to multiply to make them equal. So watch for the ones where you could just straightforward just add them just as they are and eliminate one of the variables. Okay, now let's go to now we have another example. Let's look at this one. This is using the substitution method. All right, we use the elimination method on this. We're going to use the substitution. Now you have two equations. B is a plus 2, a plus b is 4. Now we can take this b is a plus 2 and substitute it in for b in this equation. That's why it's called substitution, because you take a value in one equation for the variable and put it for that same variable in the second one, then you end up with just 1. So you're following here. If b is a plus 2, for b, I can put a plus 2. There's your a plus 2 right there. Now you only have a, right? So you have a plus a, 1a plus 1a is 2a, plus 2 is 4. Subtract your 2 from both sides. 2a is equal to 2, then a is equal to 1. So now we solve that. Then you can take the equation b is a plus 2 and substitute in the 1 value that we got here for a, and b is 1 plus 2, b is equal to 3. So that was the substitution method. Now, I want you to, okay, here's one here. This is a simultaneous equation. Now this one, notice you don't have any variables and coefficients in common for the two equations. So this one, try the elimination method. In other words, make both of these equations where they would have the same variable and coefficient, and then you can solve it. Then you can subtract it and solve it. So do it for this equation. Just do the first part and just tell me one of the values and then we can do the other one. Now, since this is 4 and 5, you know you'd have to multiply the equations by what? What would you multiply these equations by to get the same coefficient and variable for they match?
20.
20, that's right. Okay, so you want to get 20. So what you're going to do is multiply the first equation by 5. I'll get you started.
And the other one by 4.
And the other one by 4. Okay, so I want you to do that. This is 4. And then you have them where you can subtract them. So do that and tell me what you get for the X and Y. Maureen, you okay?
No.
You will multiply 5 times this whole equation. So what does that give you, Maureen? What's 5 times 4x?
20x.
That's it, 20x. What's 5 times 3y?
15y.
That's it, 15y. And what's 5 times 14?
70.
70. Okay, Maureen, you got it. Okay, now let's go to the next one. What's 4 times 5x? 20x, right?
Plus 7y.
4 times 7y.
21.
4 times 7?
28. Sorry.
28.
28y.
28y. And that's what's 4 times 11?
44.
44. Okay, now you've got your 2 equations and you're going to subtract one from the other. Okay.
Mhm.
Let me just copy those 2 equations and then you do the subtraction. Okay, let's just take this one, put it here, and let's take the other one. Okay, now I draw a line under this because you're going to do subtraction. So do the subtraction and tell me what you get for y. Subtract and solve for y. Okay, so you're going to subtract and solve for y. Tell me what you get for y.
Let's see.
Twenty x minus 20x is 0. So 28y minus 15y, put that value there. Then 44 minus 70.
Okay. 15.28. It's 13. Yeah. 5.8. This 3. 1 for 2 leaves 113. Thus, and 70 from 44. 34.
What did you get, Maureen? What did you get for Y?
13 was
Good.
20, 15 from 28, right?
Yeah, that's 13Y. So you got 13Y here, right?
Mhm.
And what's that equal to? What's 44 minus 70?
34,
No,
44 from 70.
44 minus
Oh,
70.
uh, 26. 4 from 26, 1 to 4 is 5, and 70 is 26.
Plus or minus?
Um,
44 minus 70.
a minus.
It's minus because you got more minus than
The
plus, right?
color, yeah,
So that
yeah,
would be a minus
26.
26. So what is Y equal to?
Y is equals 13.
13Y is minus 26. What's Y, Vanessa?
13.
No,
Minus.
what do you multiply by 13 to get a minus 26? What?
2.
Plus or minus?
A minus.
Minus. See, because this is minus 26 divided by 13, and that's equal to a minus 2. So Y is a minus 2. Now solve for X. Now that means you're going to take this minus 2, put it in one of these equations and solve for X. I want you to do that. Tell me what you get for X.
A minus 2. X and Y is 2.
You can take this equation, substitute Y in and solve for X.
So 7.
Okay.
Yeah, toughy.
Take that equation, substitute, I'll just write down what I'm saying, substitute for Y a minus 2, because that's what you got for Y, right? So substitute a minus 2 into this equation and solve for X.
Yeah.
And solve for X. So where you see a Y here, you're going to put a minus 2, because that's what we calculated Y to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Maureen, what is X?
X is 4.
How did you get 4?
Oh, you got to subtract the 2x minus 2x from.
Wait, Maureen. We're working with this equation right here. So you got to do the parentheses first.
Yeah.
What's 3 times a minus 2?
A -6.
minus 6. So this is going to be minus 6. Then what do you do next, Maureen?
Divide.
No. You've got to get these numbers, the 6 and the 14 together, those constants. So how would I get the 6 on the right side?
Divide.
No, how's it connected on the left side?
I don't know, multiply.
No, this is a subtraction.
Oh,
This says 4x minus 6 equals 14. So that means you're going to add 6 to both sides. All right. So if you do that, what do you get, Maureen, when you do that?
10 and 12.
Now you're adding 6 and you're adding 6 on the right.
Oh,
What do you get on the left side, Maureen? 4x minus 6 plus 6.
4x minus
6 plus
12.
6. Minus 6 and a plus 6 gives you what?
A minus.
No, a minus and a plus of the same number of
Maybe a
variable
plus.
gives you 0.
0. Oh,
Minus
oh yeah.
plus of the same
Give you,
number
yeah.
or the same variable or the same number variable combination gives you 0. So what do you have left on the left side?
4x
4x, that's right.
minus.
And no, 4x, because minus 6 plus 6 is 0. What is
0,
that
yeah.
equal to? What's the 14 plus 6?
20.
Okay, 14 plus 6 is 20. Okay, then what is x equal to? What do you do next to solve for x?
Divide.
Divide what? Divide by what?
4.
That's right. Divide both sides by 4. Okay, so that would give you x equal 20 divided by 4, and that would be equal to 5. So your answers are what? Just put here x equal 5 and y equal minus 2.
Plus 2.
No, minus 2.
Yeah.
So those would be the answers for that simultaneous equation. Okay. Okay, homework, 2 simultaneous equations. These last 2 would be homework. Only 2, right?
I can try to send them to you. I will be sitting Thursday. I got an appointment Thursday for my therapist.
Uh-huh.
And it is at 3:30 in the evening. And they're
Oh,
trying to get
okay.
them morning. They're trying to get them morning, but they have the morning.
Oh, okay. Now, all right, let me make this bigger. Okay. Now notice this first one, you see something in common. So you're going to be able to add them and do this one pretty quickly, right? Because you see they both have a 4y and a 4y. So you can just add them and, get your answer. Okay. So the homework would be just these 2 problems, simultaneous equations. And we'll do some more of these next time. All right. And then I will get into linear, quadratic, and exponential. All right. We're going to look at how we determine from an equation or from a table or from a graph, whether it's a linear equation, which we know is a straight line, or a quadratic, which we know is a parabola, or an exponential, which is really a curve. And we'll look into exponential being increasing, we call growth, and decreasing, we call decay. All right. All right. So you know your homework for next time. And like I say, we'll do some more simultaneous equations, and then we'll get into types of equations: linear, quadratic, and exponential. Any questions on anything, Maureen?
Not right now. Did Alba call you?
She texted me, and she said she couldn't be here today. And she sent me some answers to homework. I just got to find out which one it is. Okay, so we are going to stop
And what was
here.
the title?
Senior Managing Director.
Okay, let's see.
All right, so put him on.